They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
Joseph built the pyramids in order to store grain.
But we have people that are stupid.
Cover all 9,000 taste buds.
Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence.
I think it's time for Sex Ed with Brother Jeff.
This is a disclaimer. The views expressed on this show do not reflect the views of the station as a whole, nor the board of curators who hold our license.
Hail Satan!
All right. It's officially 12:03 in the PM, and it's time for Aimless Pretension. You are listening to 89.7 FM, Kamenar, Rolla, Missouri. And we're back.
We're back!
We're here.
We're back. Oh, we forgot to.
We don't have.
Oh, yeah, there's other mics in this place.
There's other people in this room.
Thank you. Thank you for turning those on.
Now you don't have to just yell very loudly.
Yeah, in the background screaming Satan and stuff.
But yeah, who are we?
This is Satan.
This is Jack the Ripper.
Travis Television.
DJ Fish Sticks. DJ Fish Sticks.
Yep.
Fish Sticks.
Not to be confused with other ambiguous things.
So what are we talking about today? We didn't even really come up with a plan, did we?
Well, I was gonna we were gonna at least pay some homage to the celebrities that recently passed away.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we have had we did have a hard 2016.
Yeah, it's horrible
so far.
David Bowie has been forever in my thoughts and on my playlist.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
man.
Alan Rickman, of course.
Alan Rickman, Lemmy.
That was 2015, but close enough.
Yeah, same kind of general. Within a few weeks of each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girl named Ashley Olsen that wasn't the Ashley Olsen from the Olsen twins, but still named Ashley Olsen.
Who is that?
She was an artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then of course Alan Rickman and Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, he died again. I forgot.
Oh yeah, did you guys hear that Michael Jackson died?
What?
Did you hear that Saddam Hussein?
But no, on David Bowie's death, man, I just have to talk for a minute about the album that he released.
Yeah.
I mean, holy FCC inappropriate words all day. The guy wrote an album about his death?
Well,
that's
that's
crazy.
the whole thing. He immortalized himself in pop culture science fiction.
It's the most ironic thing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, just think about... No artist gets the opportunity to do that. It's so rare for an artist to have the opportunity to do that. And then for the artist to actually want to take on that opportunity, I mean, that's just amazing.
That's just him, though.
Exactly.
I can't believe it. That album's amazing. But I mean, Lazarus, the line that really got me was, "I've got scars that can't be seen."
Yeah.
Yeah. It brings
so deep, man.
It brings new meaning to Lazar-like.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's just mind-blowing. The day he died and then hearing about that, I was like, man, this might be the biggest celebrity death I've ever experienced, just because you get that album too and you're listening to that while you're reminiscing about the fact that he's died, and it's just
I've never had so much emotional appeal to a celebrity's death before.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's I'm usually oh, well, that sucks, he did some good work, but man,
that's the boat. That's the boat.
I mean, that's I don't know, when Paul McCartney dies, it's going to be rough. And
Paul, that'll be...
Ringo Starr, I'm going to be well, that really sucks. Eric Clapton's going to be hard, too.
Oh, yeah. No,
any of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think it's crazy that Alan Rickman died at the same age.
Of cancer.
Cancer.
I actually saw this thing the other day that said 69 to 70 is the new 27.
That's pretty
That's pretty fantastic.
27 Club, man.
So I don't know, maybe some of our viewers are into ska and stuff, but that one guy from the Specialists, the drummer, he died as well recently.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Also
who's
a member of the
Specialist
Eagles.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
Glenn Frey,
the drum or the guitarist.
Player, yeah.
Guitarist. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a big deal too. I mean, I feel like his death was probably overshadowed by Bowie's and Alan Rickman's, but he was equally important in terms of musical development through that time period. So
I mean, David Bowie was just everywhere, though. I mean, he was music, fashion,
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, film, art, fashion, everything for sure. But I mean, you think about the Eagles; they're ubiquitous; they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Hotel California. How many times have you heard that song?
Yeah.
And how many places is it just the standard '70s rock song? It's definitely influential.
Could we just change the station, man? I don't like the Eagles. That's the FCC way to put it.
So, what else is going on in the world? What has happened in the past couple of months?
Well, there was the final push, or like they say that ISIS is losing their momentum.
You know,
again.
I have not
For the
paid
fifth
it.
time.
Yeah, for the 5th time, but they say that only a
This
quarter.
is it. This is the one, guys.
Well, no, they weren't saying this is the one. They were saying that they're losing momentum, and they only occupy a quarter of the territory they used to. And there's one other area in Iraq that they're pushing. I can't remember or pronounce the name of the area, but it's one more area that they're pushing for to
Did you
get
hear
rid
that
of.
they destroyed one of the oldest Christian
Again.
monasteries in
You
the
know,
world? Yeah.
I've spoke about this on this show before, but I think that kind of action angers me almost more than them
Well, because
killing people.
Why do you think they
that's
do
the thing,
it?
It's history.
Yeah.
It's history, and that's all of us. And it's amazing to me that somebody would want to destroy something that was, everyone's shared history. But that just shows you what kind of people they are and how
Oh yeah,
they are extremists, and they're not to be like. And people who think that like Muslims are bad really need to reevaluate, because extremists of any kind are really bad. And I mean, like I've said this before too, like many Muslim people that I've met have been some of the nicest, most hospitable people in the world, and,
Yeah.
and they're the same page as we are. They hate what's happening with ISIS. They want them gone just as much as we do.
Well, I mean, most of the solutions to the problem with ISIS right now, a lot of people say, well, it's not going to take any sort of outside intervention. Outside intervention is exactly what they want. They think that war with the West is the Bible equivalent of the Revelation, or the Quran equivalent of the Revelation. It is the pinnacle moment in Islamic faith. So we can't have outside intervention. We got to have the Muslim world come forth and say that this is inappropriate and we can't do this anymore. We can't have our names tarnished by your actions anymore.
I think that's sort of starting to happen. I do.
Yeah,
like it.
you definitely see a lot more outcry in the Muslim world about it. But again, most of the Muslim world isn't first world countries that have the money and resources and power to actually do things that are really going to make change in like a reasonable amount of time.
But the countries that do are powerful enough to basically reach out to that whole area. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Turkey is quite a power, and Egypt is a pretty good power they could reach.
Well, if only we could like redirect some of Saudi Arabia's money to people who
Saudi
aren't so
Arabia-
fundamentalist.
Kuwait, Qatar, I mean...
Saudi Arabia is starting a proxy war with Iran right now, so they're a little busy.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Saudi Arabia's motives still.
Yeah.
I don't.
Did you guys see that about 2 weeks ago? How they executed one of the Ayatollah?
Yeah, and they're executing journalists and.
Yeah, and apparently they're also targeting Shiites now, like other Muslims.
I mean, it's Saudi Arabia, man.
Yeah. Well,
They don't care.
yeah, I mean, of course, they're differing tribes that have different mentalities, and
The Kurds have been awesome.
the Kurds.
For the most part.
The Kurds have... I mean, as far as going, like, the fight against ISIS, they've been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Frankly, I
So is Russia,
haven't-
though.
Yeah.
I've been a little bit out of touch with ISIS in the past couple of months, because I don't know. It to me, it's almost like it's gotten redundant. It's like, yeah,
Well,
I know
that's a-
things are going, and
It's gotten redundant, and that's a good thing that you're not hearing about them. Because
I guess that's
terrorism
true.
doesn't work without
ahead.
media.
yeah, I agree.
I've stopped listening to NPR news as much lately just because it's like every day there's another horrible ISIS thing.
Well,
Still,
you
Give
know
me your
what?
hipster badge. Hand it
I
over.
know, I will.
Again,
Take it off.
This is
It
again,
comes-
like I've said a
comes from
lot.
the elbow.
Like I've said a lot before, I listen to a lot of NPR, working for an NPR station, so I know what you mean. It's like that all the time, but it's crazy because it's like that in the slow season. It was like that. It was just annoyingly violent during the holiday season when there wasn't any presidential candidates
and
to
you're
talk
just
about.
like, oh god.
But
no, like-
we've got the Iowa caucuses coming up in a few weeks, and now that's the only thing that plays on the
Bernie
radio.
is surging ahead of Hillary, apparently.
No,
Well, yeah,
8 points.
Yeah,
well-
surging is what I read this morning.
Well, he's making some progress.
Yeah,
Comparatively.
that's great. That is actually really
that's
awesome.
not a very good headline. Comparatively, he's doing quite well.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
So they have to
Next,
say a little
crochet.
bit extra things, like he is surging ahead in a monumental feat of something to do with.
I feel like one of these days they're just going to admit to it and be like, "Welcome to Fox News, the drama news network."
Just keep people on their toes. Like,
Yeah, it's like a.
there's gonna be like, and tonight on further news, we make up lies and we don't like black people. Back to you, Bob. Just keep people on their toes.
It's like
They'll be like, what? You didn't see it. We didn't do that. We didn't do anything.
Or like a telenovela, but like slightly attached to reality.
So I just found this great article. Apparently, Donald Trump recently retweeted a neo-Nazi tweet.
Oh yeah, this was actually a couple of months ago.
It was a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I was talking to you about this last night about
We
it
haven't
was
talked about it on the show though. What happened?
That's true. I don't think we have. But okay, so Donald Trump posts this thing that it's this picture and it says USA crime statistics on the top, and it has this stereotypical quote unquote thug looking character with like he's
go on.
Dressed in all black with like a bandana over his face, holding the gun sideways, like, you know, the kind of stereotypes that you
Gringo?
associated
Oh,
with
no,
gang
gringo.
violence or whatever. And then it shows percentage of killings by particular races, and it says blacks killed by blacks 90% or something like that. And it doesn't
Of the population?
well, it doesn't really matter what the statistic is. The big thing is that, first of all, the source of the statistics is supposedly the Criminal Statistics Bureau of San Francisco. And a quick Google search confirms that place doesn't exist.
That's not a real thing.
It's not even real. And then, you can argue all day about whether or not FBI numbers are to be trusted, but FBI numbers are nowhere near that. And any other criminal institution you take a look at to try to confirm these numbers,
I don't want to argue all day
not-
about FBI statistics.
well, yeah, I'm not saying the FBI is
It's
infallible,
exhilarating.
but
Up next,
it's like
speed crocheting.
the main point is that it's just wildly racist. This picture that he
Yeah.
tweeted, and then
Why do you think he did it?
I think of course
He knows
you
what
know.
he's doing.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got expensive people doing that.
Oh, yeah.
On purpose.
He might not even feel that way as the twisted
No,
thing.
he
Like,
doesn't. The guy's actually, like, past interviews, he's pretty towards the center.
Yeah,
That's what's so disturbing about
I
him.
think I agree. I've as you've been watching more and going deeper into his past, you're like, okay, you're a sane guy. I know that, but ever since you've been in this candidate race or presidential race, you've been kind of crazy.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
fires it
really,
up.
He's inflammatory. Like
Yeah.
that's his whole thing. Like
Point of this whole picture thing is it's pretty easy to go and reverse Google image search. That is, you upload an image to Google and it reverse searches and finds all of the places that image has been posted before. Well, the first place this image was ever posted was was on the Twitter account of a neo-Nazi supporting group.
Right.
I'm going to say something crazy. I'll give Trump the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
I'm not going to reverse search every picture I've ever posted and be like, oh no.
No, I understand, but it's not so much the fact that
That felt gross to say.
it's not that anybody's saying
wash
that
yourself.
it's not that Trump was saying, going on, I'm going to find a neo-Nazi Twitter and see what I can find from there to retweet. It's that he didn't go to the effort to even, for one, find out that the source cited doesn't exist, and two, that he's posting completely fallacious numbers.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
Well, again, it's like if you're running for presidential candidate, you can't be taken seriously if you're going to have that kind of
No
thing
one's
going
taking
on.
him seriously.
People are, though.
His base aren't the people that are gonna even know what Google is or reverse Google search stuff.
Well, that's the problem, and that's why it's such an
There's
issue.
a lot of those people though.
Oh yeah,
Is the problem?
Yeah.
because isn't Ann Coulter running his campaign?
It's changed multiple times.
I heard or I read somewhere for a brief period Ann Coulter was running his campaign, and that should tell you a lot about his campaign. Like a lot.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Right now it's Corey Lewandowski.
He's either
Lebowski. I hope he's listening right now. That'd be great.
We have an old DJ here of the same last name.
Yeah, he was my trainer too, no less.
So not Ann Coulter, but I'm sure that guy is easily as much
She
of a tool.
wasn't she? Like originally, wasn't she running it? Or
I think she was for
time
a
at
brief
least?
Yeah,
period.
it's changed so many times.
Yeah, I mean, look it up. I'm sure there's a timeline somewhere.
We can use the Google.
But yeah,
Anyway.
you know, the fact that Donald Trump probably is a fairly smart guy is what's really frightening.
I think it's easy to conflate too that this guy is an entertainer at this point. Like presidential candidates they're not speaking the truth. Bernie Sanders is lying to you too. Everybody's lying to you.
I mean, slightly. I feel like Bernie Sanders is sort of
he's pandering.
Well, yeah, he's definitely pandering. But to me, Bernie Sanders is fighting for like a thing that he sees as a dream.
It's all pandering.
He's fighting. Donald Trump's fighting for racism and totally absurdism.
I don't think he's even fighting. He's just pandering to. He needs to get those people out to vote.
I know.
You know,
that's what makes political campaigns so complex.
Because do you really think Bernie Sanders, if he gets elected, he's gonna free education for everybody?
Oh, no way.
No way. Universal health care? No. He'll try.
You know, the only argument I have for supporting somebody like that is I want somebody in the White House who's going to fight for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I know it's not going to happen even probably in his term.
In our life.
You know, maybe even in our lifetime, but I want to like take steps in that direction.
Yeah, and that's my motivation for voting for him. At least I've made up my mind. At least at this point in time that I know that I'm going to vote for him for that reason.
You know, if we're gonna talk about politics for a second, I want to say something about Martin O'Malley because that guy gets no credit at all.
Hey,
and
better.
He's
he gets
actually
more than,
pretty legit.
Chafee.
Oh yeah, Lincoln Chafee.
poor
But that guy, he is Lincoln Chafee is just a pushover. I don't think he really tried.
He
at
was
all.
so like grandpa innocent.
Oh, yeah,
sweet old man. I
The
was like,
debate scene, he's just like, oh, okay, I'm in a debate, guys. All right, let's talk about politics. Cool.
I'm on the national TV network. Look at there.
Well, and then when I think what really was like the last nail in the coffin for him is when they had questions about his questionable voting in the Senate.
Yeah,
and he's like, come on, guys, it was my first day on the Senate. My dad had just died, which, I guess that's somewhat legitimate, reasoning, but,
When you're governing this many people.
when you answer like that, you got to kind of get some criticism.
Yeah.
Martin O'Malley's basically our friend Brian in like 30 years or 40 years.
He does seem a little bit like that, yeah.
Like, oh, come on.
But
I hope you're listening, Brian.
I like Martin O'Malley because he really seems to meet Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders in the middle because Bernie Sanders is really ideological, a free education, $15 an hour minimum wage, we're going to go to socialism.
That's ridiculous.
Which, it's not going to happen in his term, like I said, but then you got Hillary Clinton, who is more sort of just reinforcing what Barack Obama has done and really just kind of wants to keep on the same path that Barack Obama has gone down. Where Martin O'Malley is like, okay, well, I'm gonna meet right here in the middle and be a little bit more realistic
That's
about
why
it.
he's there.
Well, it's just that he is more realistic about it. He has things that he seems to be able to bring up and actually, and Bernie Sanders has a plan, and
It's still the primaries. The DNC put those three candidates there for a reason because they're trying to feel out the base.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's just you never see any media attention from Martin O'Malley. I mean, I listened to NPR the next morning after the last Democratic debate.
Yeah.
Zero times is exactly how many times Martin O'Malley's name was mentioned.
And there wasn't even like the debate between Clinton, O'Malley, and Bernie. It was just like, it just talks about Clinton and
Well, yeah,
Sanders
it goes, well, the Democratic debate last night was laid host of hot debate between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. It's like, well, Martin O'Malley had some good points too.
There was another guy there too. We don't know.
It's like Ringo and the Beatles.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it's good full circle there. We don't care about him. If he dies,
We'll be sad, but
Just to like in the sense that it's like a person dying,
Yeah. Anyone dying is bad.
Yeah.
But I wrote an octopus in the garden.
Oh, that's nice, Ringo. We'll put it on the refrigerator.
Right next to the homework scholars.
Tee hee hee.
So yeah, what else has happened? What's going on in the world other than politics
Bill
and ISIS?
Cosby's court trial got dismissed.
Oh, right.
Really?
Yeah.
It got dismissed.
I didn't know it got dismissed.
Yeah, well, they basically said that there wasn't enough to go on.
Well, and it's like 30 years later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's no evidence. It's all here. He said, she said, and I don't know the facts, so I can't really take one side or another. But I watched this 10-minute interview with Bill Cosby's lawyer the other day, and she brings forth pretty good arguments in terms of not necessarily whether he's legitimately innocent. But when you have one person come and then you have 15 other people follow, you kind of have to be skeptical of that. And you know,
Or
again,
not.
I don't know. I don't know anything, but
Probably-
he definitely has a very sharp-witted and
Well, that's what money.
well-spoken lawyer.
Yeah, that's what money buys. Even if she, because there's no evidence, even if she had a decent lawyer, he can afford a better one.
Yeah.
And he'll win every time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the U.S. court system.
I don't know, but that's interesting that it was dropped.
Yeah, here. So, and this is from CNN News. Judge Arthur J. Schwab dismissed the 3 claims against Cosby, ruling that the statements were, quote, that the statements, quote, do not support a claim for defamation as defined by Pennsylvania law, end quote, according to the ruling. So,
Wait, what defamation? Who had the defamation charge?
basically, hang on a second. It was, let me find her name once again. Oh, Renita Hill, one of more than 50 women who have publicly accused.
50.
Yeah.
About 350.
Yeah, 50 women. That's a lot of women.
I mean, it was Bill Cosby. Guy was most dope.
I guess so.
He was pretty dope back in the day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, did he need to force women?
Yeah, see that I don't. That's why I'm so conflicted, because I'd like to think that, like, that's like a real like problem, because really it is a real issue that we have, like, women who aren't necessarily taken seriously, and we have a lot of horrible things that happen to women. But then, is this true or is this false? Like, because it seems like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it does
I mean-
seem like they're trying to take down a celebrity for the money.
Well, yeah, it's like, of course you want to have justice if something like that really
Yeah,
did
absolutely.
happen. You know, anybody wants that. But when it's 30 years later, you're kind of like, well, why didn't you say anything then?
Well, and then somebody was trying to say that Bill Clinton was doing the same thing back in like 1976. Like, I read this like headline like probably like 2 weeks ago, so it's kind of not very fresh in my mind anymore.
I'd put a tenner on that. Straight up. I'd put a tenner on that.
Well, see, if it was during his presidential campaign or presidential term, it'd be really easy to confirm that.
I've heard that he was pretty schmoozy in college.
Well, haven't you seen John Mulaney's
Yeah, I was about
comeback
to
kid
say,
sketch? And
yeah.
he talks about his mom. Apparently, like, she went to college with Bill Clinton, and he would wait outside the library every night because this is like a thing. Like,
They had
a
an
certain-
escort system. Yeah.
And so they would be like waiting outside the library, just like young men. And they'd be like, "Can I give you a walk home, miss?" And I know Bill Clinton would be all like, "How about a walk back to my dorm?" You know. And he's like-
Play some saxophone.
But so yeah, like a woman came forward now saying that Bill Clinton like abused her or raped her in like 1976. And then she's like, "There's many other just like me," and you're like, "Well, okay, is this true also, or now is this just because now it's like it's almost like crying wolf, which
Yeah.
sucks because it could be true."
And yeah, and you're taking away from the people that were, assaulted or, sexually
And during an election season.
during
Yeah.
It's like, did somebody just pay you to try and ruin Hillary Clinton's campaign? Because then, like, out of nowhere, people started bringing up the Monica Lewinsky thing again. And who's talked about that in 15, 20 years?
Bernie, what are you up to, Bernie?
Yeah,
It's inexcusable.
of course, we're just a bunch of dudes here sitting about sexual assault from the viewpoint of women.
I'm a boy.
right.
But,
of course, we don't have the proper perspective.
But,
Necessarily.
it doesn't matter what criminal case you're talking about. It's kind of hard to say 30 years after the case.
That's the biggest problem.
I have this happened, but I have no evidence towards
But then at the
fact.
same time, it was a lot harder, I guess, back then for women to come forward.
yeah,
as
that is
it is
true.
now, which-
That is true,
That is true.
and it still is today.
And like, granted, yeah, we're a bunch of just guys without a female perspective right now. But I'd like to think that all of us are open-minded and like forward-thinking enough
Speak
and
for
progressive
yourself.
enough.
Now,
for
see, I'm trying to speak purely from
Yeah, I
like a
know.
criminal justice
No, I know,
perspective, saying
but-
if you really want something to happen about this, you can't have too much high hopes 30 years after the fact.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So I guess if we're gonna have a call to action during this show, if you were assaulted sexually, please say something to an authority.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
you-
at any
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I know
Absolutely.
it's difficult, and you have to say it over and over again just to get the police report filed properly. But
Not
it
even.
sucks.
We're on a campus, Title IX. Yeah, Title IX's like
Yeah,
you can say it to literally anybody that works for the school. You could say it to like the lunch lady,
It's true.
and she's a mandated reporter.
Yep.
You could technically say it to me because I'm technically a university.
Nobody
employee.
wants to talk to you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I'm saying, the point is that people are out there and
Jared.
people want to do something about that because I don't want to have, when we're 50, hearing about sexual assaults that supposedly happened today that weren't ever told about.
Yeah, and we never knew about
Because the resources are out there now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put money on we will.
We will. I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will, yeah.
I mean, the
Probably
culture
about
aspect of it is
Flo
definitely not gonna
Rida
change.
or Pitbull. I'm gonna
Pitbull.
put money on that too. Pitbull.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
It's gonna be
Pitbull.
I'll throw in on that. So let's change perspectives.
Yeah, so you guys, so there's another subject we totally glossed over and should totally talk about. Remember the Oregon occupation?
Oh, we've got time.
Oh, that was so dope. Yes, I want to talk about that.
It's over now?
No, I'm pretty. Is it?
It's pretty much over.
It's pretty much over.
I think they're still there though.
They're still
still
there,
there?
but it's like,
It's just
okay,
kind
it's
of like-
cold, guys. Go ahead. You can have it. Like,
Yeah.
just whatever.
We're just gonna carry on with our business, and you guys do this.
I'm sure you guys have all seen the video of one of the people unpackaging a bunch of Amazon packages that people sent to them, and it's just a bunch of sex toys and like all of these things.
Which is awesome.
And then like a 50-gallon.
Yeah, they
Bucket
had a
of
50-gallon
lubricant.
tub of lube.
Right. Yeah. So I guess if our viewers don't or listeners don't know, the Oregon occupation, they were asking for snacks because I guess they had enough money to buy very expensive weapons to occupy the place, but not bring groceries.
Yeah, that seems silly. I was thinking about this the other day because I was really it was really cringeworthy when I heard about that. I'm like, oh, you're gonna try to have this revolutionary takeover of land and then be like, oh, we need snacks and coffee and creamer and
The fact that they use the word snacks.
yeah.
I don't think the winter at Valley Forge went that way.
Yeah, I'm like, how can you really take yourself seriously?
Asking for coloring books.
I don't know. I
They
don't know how I
boiled the
feel about it
leather on
still.
their shoes.
I don't know how I feel about it still. Not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they're doing it for, and they have a right to protest and all that stuff. But I love that there was a Native American individual or First Nation people calling them out, saying, "Well, actually, it's our land."
Now, see, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I agree with them though.
Yeah.
Because they're fighting for the right to essentially abuse the environment and not care about the future and think only short term. That's what they're fighting for, is for the right to graze on this land with their cattle
Without paying a tax, because they already have the right to do it.
Well,
they
yeah,
just have to pay.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're paying tax because there's environmental effects that we want to avoid, and I really hate this mentality that there's that. Oh, we have the right to use whatever we want and abuse the environment however we want because that's what freedom represents. I mean, I guess sort of, but you also need to have the foresight to want to perpetuate that freedom, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I have a question. Why is Native Americans now an offensive term, or is it not?
Oh well, okay.
Because that's ridiculous.
to add to that too, midget is offensive too, and I don't get behind that. I heard a sketch the other day, a comedy sketch, and he was like, "Why would you call them midgets? And you call them little people now? I feel like that is worse."
I always thought that
I think
midget
people
was
of
what they
color is just as
preferred.
bad as
No,
colored
everyone's
people.
like little people. You say little people now, and I was like, man, I would hate that. Oh, you're like a person, only smaller.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like little people is
Wow.
is derogatory.
Anyway.
Oh right. So one of our fellow DJs pointed out to me because I was making a very what's the word, call to action sort of offensive argument on Facebook, saying,
Which is always a great venue for that.
yeah, of course. And I said, why do we still call Native Americans Indians? Just seems a bit silly to not call them Native Americans whenever they're clearly not Indians. They're not from India. This isn't India. Why do we still call them Indians? And Misty, one of our fellow DJs, pointed out to me it's more offensive to call them any English nomenclature whatsoever because it's not their language. It's silly to make it, arbitrary for an English name. Period.
But this is just becoming ridiculous at this point because we have to be able to refer at some point. Like we can't be like,
I don't think.
We just don't refer to them now because we can't say anything.
Yeah, that's PC gone wild.
Yeah,
See,
that's how I feel about it.
I think it's crazy because Native Americans is purely descriptive. There's no really historical significance back there other than the fact that they were the Native Americans.
What do you call Aztecs?
I know, but
it's because the American part, I guess.
well, yeah, we're also saying that they are from America,
That's
even
true.
though we called it America
Yeah,
and came here and called it that.
It's what we called the place. Yeah, I guess I see that.
Yeah,
But
and there was a Western European man, Americano or something like that. That
Yeah.
was
I mean,
Boom! Boom! Drop the mic.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
but I mean, I think it's like African Americans. I mean, people don't like to be called that nowadays as well because the African Americans now aren't actually African Americans. I mean, that's their it's super long ancestral.
I'm just so tired of all of it. I wish everyone would just be people.
Yeah,
That would
I
be so
agree.
much easier.
No more titles. Just
Well, we're
get
just
rid of
all
the
a-
titles entirely.
we're Americans. You don't have. A lot of other countries don't really have this problem because we don't have the heritage, right? Germans aren't like, oh, you're an Italian German or blah 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 blah, right? It's here.
What was that accent?
It was Italian German. Duh.
Well, I think Europeans are slightly more open to other cultures simply because
I don't know about that.
Well, it's just so dense there. I mean, it's like our states. I mean, you go to Illinois and it's generally the same type of people. But you go from Germany to France and it's quite different. I mean, maybe they're not so open to
that. They're
culture
Obama's from Illinois, and we're not the same.
But no, I don't know. It's an
So can we just call it like Native Americans, like Native Russians or something like that, or like I don't know.
I want to come up with a new word like pinko panko or something.
Well, I mean, weren't we discussing when we were talking about this the other day? And I think what we were saying is that they prefer to be called Indians simply because even though they had their individual tribes before the Europeans came to the Americas, that's since been eradicated. And Indians is sort of like they're kind of taking that word back and saying, well, this is what we have left of our culture and this is what we want to keep.
Yeah, and I most of them, at least northern tribes, like descendants of the Iroquois and whatnot, prefer to be called First Nation.
They're not the
Individual.
First Nations though.
Well, yeah, I see. Calling themselves a nation, I think, contradicts what
It was
Native
like
American
the
or
League of Five
Indian.
Nations.
It's like
I mean, they were nations, though.
Yeah, exactly. It contradicts the lifestyle they had before Europeans came to this continent. They didn't have nations. I mean, they had like territory that they roamed, but
I mean, they kind of did have nations.
Yeah,
though.
I mean,
like
that's
because they had tribes that weren't the same tribe that were all in like one group.
Yeah, I don't know. It's complicated. They had a very different philosophy about
absolutely
land ownage and nationhood and statehood and such and that.
Okay, well, it's about good time to do a quick break for programming. How do you guys feel about that?
Aye.
All right, we're all on board. We'll come back for a quick segment once we're finished. And stay tuned. You're listening to Aimless Pretension.
This is NIH Health Matters. I'm Joe Belintfi. Millions of Americans are overweight or obese, but how does how stressed you are impact your weight? Dr. Alyssa Eppel, an NIH-funded researcher at the University of California, San Francisco, is researching how weight loss and stress are related.
We're trying to ask the question about reversibility. If we can help people reduce their amount of perceived stress in their lives and enhance their coping ability, are we also helping them regulate their eating and their weight?
Eppel's research looks at how a stress management program impacts a typical weight loss program. For more information about this obesity research, visit nhlbi.nih.gov. Health Matters is produced by NIH, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human
National Institute of Hockey.
Nice. Anyway, so time for some weather. Today it'll be mostly cloudy with a high around 29, wind chill values as low as 15. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low around 18. Saturday it'll be mostly sunny with a high around 34, wind chill values around 9.
Oh my.
Saturday night it'll be partly cloudy with a low around 23. And Sunday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high around
76.
45.
Oh.
Sunday
So-
night, it'll be partly cloudy with the low around 33. And Monday, a 30% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high around 46.
There it is.
So I just realized that I have no idea how wind chill values work. You would think, like, if you have a low temperature and high winds, you have a really low wind chill value. But on Saturday, it's higher temperature, lower winds, but way lower wind chill value than Friday. What?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, weather.
Wow, weird.
Good stuff.
So
So it's time for our segment, the MVP of the week, the most valueless plebeian.
Okay.
it's our brand new segment.
Brand new segment.
First time here.
This
Yeah.
is a little bit of a sad one, but it's also like, well, come on.
Yep.
So
So if you want to understand our segment a little bit better, it's basically like the Darwin Awards. Just we're much better than those people.
anyway,
yeah.
21-year-old girl died by leaving a party super drunk and a negative 15 wind chill, and it was like 5
negative 27.
Yeah,
negative
negative.
20. So it was like,
It's
sorry,
cold.
it was negative 5 degrees outside with a negative 27.5 degree wind chill. And yeah, they
Yeah.
like, found her not very far from the place that
Yeah, it was like a mile and a half or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, according to her friends,
she was wearing short shorts.
Yeah, she was wearing shorty shorts, and she showed up to a party already very drunk and got nonsensically angry at someone at the party and left.
Probably a person she'd never met.
And then died.
Yeah, and then died. Like,
So can you imagine leaving a party, not feeling the cold at all, in shorty shorts, storming out in anger, and then not waking up the next day?
Let me tell you, that's happened to me more than once.
Not waking up the next day.
I usually wake up the next day, but, glitches in the matrix and all.
Yeah, we also have the benefit of living in Rolla, and there's nothing really a mile away of walking distance
Yeah, I
without
mean,
stopping somewhere to get some warmth.
And where did this take place? Like Russia? Where is
Wisconsin.
it?
it was in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like-
Oshkosh, Oshkosh with Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is
Yeah.
a garbage state.
Wisconsin.
I hate
Oh, wait, no.
Wisconsin.
She's from, but it was in Milwaukee, I think, where the.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
probably Kochtown or something.
So this is
Milwaukee.
a big. Yeah.
There's plenty of places that you should be able to get warm.
But
Oh,
I don't think it occurred to her, which is, I mean, like, then it's really sad. Like, it sucks that anybody ever dies that way or anyway, really. But
It's sad, kind of, in the sense that like somebody died.
yeah, but you're like, come on.
You are certainly the most valueless plebeian.
You are indeed.
You know,
win.
this story reminds me of a similar story where this actually happened in like Prague or Russia, actually. And
Those are very different things.
they were, I mean,
Prague's a city, Russia's a whole country. But that's fine. I'm
Czech
harassing you.
Republic
Happened in Miami or
Nitpicky.
Cuba. I don't know. It's
location is not the important part of
okay,
the story.
okay.
So there was this party in these catacombs underneath of a city, and a girl got really drunk and decided to go roam the catacombs and could not find her way out, and was found 10 years later.
Wow.
Also a skeleton.
That was in Ukraine.
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 Yep.
The Odessa Caverns.
Odessa Caverns.
Thanks, Dick Justice.
Thank you. Those are good. That's good location information.
Awesome.
Celebrity shot there by Dick Justice.
So yeah, most valueless plebeian. We'll have one of those each week.
Yep.
So valueless.
So valueless.
100,000 birds have died in Alaska.
Oh yeah.
I bet you 100,000 birds died last year too.
Well,
Please tell me where this is going.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going with this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes, that logo.
Yes, I was about to bring this up. Okay, there's
Okay.
this great thing going on right now. I'm just going to read it straight off. In a
It would
scene
be-
seemingly lifted from an episode of Parks and Recreation, the residents of Whitesboro, New York, were asked to vote on a new town seal. And these were their alternatives. And there's an alternative of what looks like a colonial man shaking hands with a Native American, First Nation, Indian, whatever. And then another one of them just standing together, and then another one of them just their hands holding together over a pine tree, and then another one of just a landscape. And the residents voted instead for the same colonial man. Instead of shaking hands with the Native American, he is choking that person.
Yeah, the original logo is. I mean, if you're like any sort of sensical person and you don't know the backstory to this logo, it resembles a white man choking out an Indian. very
Well,
pretty
man,
vividly.
Indian's offensive.
Yeah, and they defended it saying it was a friendly wrestling match.
And that's actually the historical significance of it. Like, there's actual record of that happening, and actually, I'm pretty sure that people who are associated with the tribe that this Indian came from have come forward and said, yes, this actually happened. It was an amicable wrestling match. Amicable is not the right word, but it was a wrestling match that they both agreed upon, and it was a friendly event. But, you know, whether that's the actual history or not, your logo does not reflect that.
Yep. Yep. It's 2016, guys.
I think they vote to actually keep it. If I could speak words.
The last thing I heard was they voted for that seal to keep it.
To keep it. Yeah.
Keep it.
Dope.
At least people know the history now.
Yeah, that's good. Unlike the Redskins.
Well, on a somewhat related story, I actually saw that people, I think it's in Thailand. Again, location not necessarily important, but as many people know, the swastika in the opposite counterclockwise direction is actually part of a lot of Asian religious belief.
It's the Iron Cross, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a Buddhist symbol, and so therefore it's all over Buddhist temples and places in
people are
Thailand
like, "Oh
and
my
China,
God."
and I believe that it was the government that decided they're going to take anything like that off of any sort of tourist brochure or any sort of tourist information because it offends too many people.
Too many stupid people.
Exactly. It's like, sure, Satanism likes to use the upside down cross, but that doesn't mean that the cross is an offensive symbol. It's just crazy. I wish people actually knew history.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And in all fairness, the Church of Satan does not use the upside down cross.
Well, yeah, I know that's not necessarily correct, but
the Luciferians do, which is kind of silly.
Yeah,
because when you think about it, it's actually the cross of San Pedro, which is the main cross in the Lutheran faith, which I was raised in.
Yeah,
and
it's for Peter because Peter was crucified upside down.
Mm.
Our resident Satanist here.
Yep.
Guys, I really want to talk about these birds.
Talk about the birds.
Tell me about the birds.
They found 8,000 in one day dead on a beach in Alaska. Common murres, which are seabirds, and they were just like littered dead on the beach where the tide went out and left them because apparently they're all starving to death. Every one of them that they took in, and like they didn't take all 8,000 obviously, but they took a couple. And they've been sampling like basically bird corpses from all over this area. And all of them that they have found have died from emaciation or starvation.
What a job.
That I don't know. That surprises me that you'd find 8,000 in one place from starvation, though.
Yeah. That's the problem though, because the water is too warm there now, and the fish population is basically disappeared.
Yeah.
Well, it's also El Nino this year.
I'm just saying that like finding them all on one beach sort of implies that like some catastrophic
that was
event
just
came and killed them all
one
at once.
beach where they found just 8,000. Then they found 3,000 on another beach.
Okay.
And they found like about 100,000 over the course of a couple weeks or a couple months.
Bummer.
Yeah.
And underneath the dead birds were dead polar bears. And underneath the dead polar bears were dead penguins.
Hey guys, climate change is a hoax. If you didn't know that.
Let's talk to Bernie.
We're gonna break up the big banks.
Gonna break up the big banks. It's true though.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. I also want to point out that it's really hard to find a quotable instance in which Bernie said something stupid.
Yeah, we have this fancy new intro that we put together for this semester.
Fancy.
It includes fun little quotes from various
Peoples.
crazy and funny people. And we were trying to find a Bernie Sanders quote that was energetic and forceful and exciting, but it just doesn't exist because Bernie Sanders is calm.
Yep. And well put together. He speaks very succinctly, but, couldn't find an energetic, cathartic, screaming Bernie.
I know.
That's a challenge to you, Hillary Clinton, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Get her done.
Hillary Clinton.
She calls in.
Yeah, we're
got it.
millennials. Appeal to us.
I always
our
listen.
show.
Thanks, Hillary.
You really want to appeal to millennials? Advertise a random talk show
Random
in
talk show.
Rolla, Missouri.
It's not very mainstream, man.
What was that clip, that Snapchat she did? She was like, "I'm just chilling."
Oh yeah, she was in like Seattle or something, right?
I think it was Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids. And she was at like a coffee shop. She's like, I'm chilling here in the coffee house.
I'm just chilling. I was like, oh man. I wanted to say, like, I'm just chilling with my homies.
Right behind this phone are my advisors telling me how to work Snapchat.
It probably would be pretty awesome.
Didn't she do a
though,
rap too?
if she got our
Carson
show.
did one.
Carson did a rap. That's right. I'm sorry.
We have anywhere between 2 and 6 listeners all the time.
Yeah, we have
And-
pretty good listenership. I know that.
Yeah, actually, our average was somewhere around 6 to 8. So.
Dude,
Wow.
don't tell people that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't say that out loud. I know that's like, okay, Menard's like,
Well,
yeah, that's pretty
like,
good.
That's
but
like that's not
let's
the
just
whole
not
show.
talk.
That's,
That's-
not number of people listening to the whole show.
That's only
like,
web listeners.
Yeah,
Only
Yeah.
web listeners.
listening for the whole, like one person
Which
per whole.
I would argue that the mass majority of listeners on Cayman are not doing it at home on their computers. On the
Right,
web.
right. They're driving
it's in
around
bits
in
and
between
pieces,
places.
Yeah, as they're
Yeah.
driving.
Oh,
Or
we're
probably-
cacaoing.
Oh, excuse me.
We've cacaoed. We've officially cacaoed for once in our first week here.
A little bit. I mean,
was good.
we've kind of cacaoed. We've been going
Yeah.
wherever we want.
I was just excited that we did that. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want
So we got about 10 minutes left here on Aimless Pretension. What else is aimless and pretentious that we could talk about?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse.
She died.
Yeah, did you guys
All
hear
right,
that?
next topic. Wrap that one real quick.
Somebody was talking about Ben Carson doing a rap. I didn't know about that.
I did not know.
Oh,
that.
it's pretty good. I actually listen to it regularly.
Yeah, one of our
Did we play
fancy.
it on air?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, we played
We
it on
may
here
have,
once.
It might
yeah.
have been gone, or maybe I just was so annoyed by it that I pushed.
Or
out
maybe
of
it
my
just
mind.
blew your mind
And I'm
and you
like,
can't remember.
Well, I mean, it's got to be somewhat good. I mean, one of our clips is Ben Carson talking about how Joseph built the pyramid. So obviously, he's a creative guy. I mean, he could probably come up with some good lines.
I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist, and I work with my hands,
I got a brain in my hands.
and your heart in the other. Ben Carson, 2016.
Ben Carson, or man who's eaten too much turkey and is about to fall asleep.
My voice will soothe you as the anesthesiologist takes over. See you on the flip side.
I'm gonna lobotomize you.
Yeah.
Coco.
Coco. No, that's not allowed.
Coco?
Coco the gorilla? Anybody?
What are we talking
Yeah, we're
about?
cacaoing is the point. So, also, I guess we could maybe talk about Star Wars. Han Solo is here on our desktop saying WTF is this S word. So what about Star Wars? This is a good movie. Have you guys all
That is a
seen it?
good pop culture thing. We haven't had the opportunity to speak
Right,
about
yeah.
it.
I've seen it twice, actually. It's
I've
pretty
seen it
nice.
3
I've seen it.
times.
Yes.
Yeah, so should we give a hearty review really quick of Go Star Wars?
Spoilers still, though.
Well, I mean, we can do a review
do a
without
review with that.
spoiling things. I mean,
Actually, I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I if you're gonna go see it, don't see it more than twice, because it gets crappy, and then you're just like, eh.
I don't know. I think what people view as plot holes are good story continuation devices.
Right, like the Huffington Post had like a list of 40 plot holes in the new Star Wars movie.
If we want to talk about that article, then
Yeah.
that is absurd. But there are plenty of plot holes that are like a little bit more legitimate that people bring up, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, well, it's the first movie of a trilogy, and there's going to be 2 other movies that
That's why
have
I hate
plenty
when
of other
anybody even
things
says
that-
plot hole in a multi-piece
Exactly.
like, work because
exactly.
it could be completely intentional and not a plot hole because you don't know the plot yet.
It's like if you had no plot holes, there would be no reason to continue it. The plot would be finished.
Yeah. Yeah, went to Alpha and Omega and it was done.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. What do you view as a plot hole? What do you see as crappy with the movie? Spoiler free, I guess.
No, I can't do it spoiler free. Yeah, I think the whole thing was repetitious of the original.
Oh,
Absolutely, it was.
Oh yeah,
It was
that's the
supposed to be,
primary
though.
criticism, though.
It was New Hope Mark II, for
like
sure.
the first, because I still love the movie. Absolutely,
Yeah,
love it. I saw it 3 times. Like I love the movie. It's Star Wars. Like
Yeah, I mean, there's some notable differences between the 4th movie
But
and
every
this movie, which
time-
I'm not going to say because those are plot spoilers.
yeah, but every time I saw it, I liked it less, and I was just like, oh man, because there's a lot of they weren't as daring as the original Star Wars was.
Now,
right?
see, I that is one criticism I have for it.
They didn't try anything crazy. Like,
Yeah, there was-
everybody hated Jar Jar Binks, but everybody hated Jar Jar Binks, right? Like it was crazy. It was stupid, but it was crazy. Like it was risk taking.
I hated those movies. Those 3 movies, I hated them.
I love those movies.
Oh, see, I love Jar Jar Binks.
Pod racing is dope.
Yep.
It is cool. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the first 3, except for the whole romance with Anakin.
I hate episode
that was
2
silly.
because I think it is horrendous cinematography, but I think episode 1 is decent enough story, and episode 3 is important enough to. Everybody likes episode 3 from what I know.
Episode 3 is fine.
It's just 1 and 2 that are really the ones.
Well, you
got to
remember too.
people.
That's when they were
Actually-
trying the CGI stuff, the new CGI stuff.
Yeah.
and it was
I li-
still coming along.
I actually liked the CGI in the second one more than the third one because the third one seemed way
Over the top.
too over the top.
Yeah.
And then there was like small things like, in the first space battle, one of the clone ship blows up and you literally see the pilot hanging out in space completely unharmed. And I'm just like, really? You're going to go through the extra effort to do that?
He's got that dope armor though.
It's not dope armor. It looks
It's
like a
dope.
trash bag.
Super dope.
But no.
I don't know. I didn't like this. I liked it because it was cool. It's Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
of
gonna.
course.
There's a reason it's the biggest selling movie of all time because it's Star Wars, and it's been a long time since we've had a Star Wars film.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think J.J. Abrams definitely played the Disney mass marketability route.
Yeah, they did
instead
do that.
of the Lucasfilm. Like we're gonna market the crap out of this, but we're still gonna make it Star Wars.
I definitely agree that they didn't take any risks, and I will support that criticism because
Too much fan service, right?
Without spoilers,
They marketed the crap out of this movie.
There were multiple instances in which they could have taken a twist and it would have deviated it from the exact archetype that has happened in the other 2
The
trilogies.
whole movie was pretty predictable.
Exactly. I mean, like probably.
It's not the biggest selling movie of all time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It broke the record.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
$1.5 billion.
Dude,
It's not like gross overall.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it
It
already
shattered
is.
I
everything.
think both Avatar and
It beat out Avatar.
and Titanic are higher than that.
No.
It beat out
Well, I
both.
have, I have a list here.
Look it up, and then I'll keep talking about
because
this.
it's been
but
on the news a lot
without-
lately.
Without spoilers, you could probably get what I'm talking about here. But there's a very big moment where
You see it
people-
coming from like a mile away.
Well, yeah, you see it coming. You see what actually happens coming from like a mile away. But that moment, there was a really good opportunity for there to be a strange twist.
Yeah,
about,
I agree.
Yeah, and it would
A
have
twist,
totally
a twist similar in the original trilogy.
In the 4th movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very similar twist they could have thrown in there, and that's actually what I thought. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was like,
I was really hoping for that scene not to go the way that it did, but it's
Yeah.
that's
I
what I'm
really-
saying.
I
They
really-
didn't take any risks.
Yeah. And then
and I also didn't like how they marketed the crap out of that movie. I
Oh,
mean,
God, okay.
Disney ran with that.
It's still going,
yeah,
dude. I mean,
Star Wars oranges.
I
Like,
mean,
come
yeah.
on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, there's all these like car sales tie-ins. It's like the car has nothing to do with Star Wars. You're just putting the Imperial March behind it and making it look
Yeah.
awesome or something.
That
Like,
really,
come on.
That really killed it for me.
So it definitely was like it had like records for weekends and like box office release weekends, but it's still not the highest grossing of all time.
I don't believe you.
It was the fastest to make $1 billion at least.
It's 1 billion. It's like one. It's like 1.5 billion. Like not even that. And
I'm
then-
gonna put money that it will become the highest grossing movie of all time.
well, Avatar was over 2 billion.
Now,
So-
are they counting like DVD sales, or is this just like in theaters?
This is like worldwide, just like
Overall.
box office.
I'm pretty sure
Okay,
it's
box
done
office.
like 1.5 billion in just the U.S.
It wasn't 1.5 billion, and this is worldwide box office. It was like 1 billion and 25 million and like 100,000.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Star Wars at least in like more obscure theaters until March.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah. Well, and with how much money Disney's been pretty adamant about we're gonna make money off of this thing.
Well, I mean, they're
the whole
still filling up
franchise is gonna be,
theaters.
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, they're still filling up theaters.
Yeah.
You know? And actually, it was just announced that episodes 8 is not coming out until December of 2017.
Originally, it was
That's so
supposed to.
stupid.
It was like May 26th, and now it's like December 15th or something.
See,
like that.
I'd heard that Disney was going to try to make it a yearly Christmas thing for the next 3 years. So that
Which
was
is a
mega.
good, I mean, Christmas
Well,
and
'cause then
summer
they'd
is
make
when
a
you
killing.
have big hits.
They'd make
Yeah.
a killing on toy sales and stuff too.
Well, yeah.
They should make it May the 4th. They should
Oh
always do
my
May the
God.
4th.
How could they not cash in on that opportunity?
I know, right? Come on. They're doing all of this marketing, and they're
what
not
if-
even taking advantage of.
They'll probably
May
do
the
it with
4th.
episode 9 or something. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, they have it set to do another trilogy after this.
like Rogue
Well, yeah, they're doing
Squadron or
a Han
whatever.
Solo in between.
Oh.
They're doing a Han Solo movie in between the second trilogy and the new trilogy, and they're doing a Darth Vader movie that is between the first trilogy and
They're
the
gonna
second
kill
trilogy.
this series.
Is it supposed to be
They're doing
young
the
Han
X-Men
Solo?
thing.
Huh?
Is this supposed to be young Han Solo?
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Well,
gonna
it's
kill
just,
this.
no, it's supposed to be because
It's just they're gonna do like the X-Men Origins thing.
well,
That's
it's supposed
stupid.
to be like his story after the events of Return of the Jedi and before the events of.
They
Because
can't
there's
do
a lot-
Han
no.
Solo without Harrison Ford. That's depressing.
I agree with you, but I have high hopes. I think
I
they'll be
think
okay.
it's a cool idea. I just wish that Harrison Ford were like 40.
I agree. I totally agree with you. I
Hey,
wish
you
Harrison
guys want
Ford-
to end this with something really depressing? Harrison Ford's probably the next celebrity to die.
He's younger than some others, so hopefully he's not.
Hey, cancer's the new makeup.
No, no.
Answers the
No.
new makeup. That's not. No.
He's next.
Cancer.
Putting it
man.
out there. Put a tenner on it.
Man.
I'll give you $10 if you're right, because that'd be pretty impressive.
Tomorrow.
Connor called it.
Oh, yeah, if it like this afternoon.
Not that soon, Connor.
Oh.
As if you have the power.
Well, it's a minute before 1 p.m.
So yeah,
That's
we
probably
should.
all we have to talk about here.
Yep. And I noticed that the show before us was Feline Good with Grace, and the show after us is Elation Pure Sensation by DJ Feline Groovy.
Oh,
So we're surrounded by felines.
A double feline pun.
We're surrounded by, yeah. Okay.
Cats.
Cats
Yeah.
and stuff.
Everybody loves cats.
Anyway,
But yeah.
So should we sign off?
This week has been aimless and pretentious,
Yes.
and we'll be back next week,
Yep.
noon to 1.
Harrison Ford won't be.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is Satan signing off, saying at Fita Sing and Feek Deek.
This is Jack the Ripper signing off.
Travis Television signing off.
DJ Fish Sticks signing off.